Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, wherever you are, and welcome to Friday Night Breakdown, brother. And I'm here with D Jose as we talk about what's been happening in wrestling this past week, Raw Rumble onwards. How you doing, Jose?
Uh, uh, it's Gravely Voice McMahon. I'm the chain smoker. God damn it. I had to fire my own son because he can't fucking cut it in the ring anymore, brother. But it's glad to be here. I'm glad to be here.
Yeah, the one just to briefly go on about that, but I want to talk about the Rumble, and this is to do, and as well as Shane McMahon, and they're
It's
almost
all
like two separate
intertwined.
subjects, but it's
Yep.
all intertwined. You know, the sense of entitlement is something I never expected from Shane McMahon. I thought he was one of the I thought he was the good McMahon,
Mm-hmm.
but the apple doesn't fall far from the tree, and he's following a lot of his he's following a lot of his father's trademarks. Like thinking that he knows everything and trying to control everything. And what was he thinking? There's only one person who can do that, and that's fucking his dad, Vince.
Mm-hmm.
Hello, bandits. Yes, I finished work today. You'll be happy to know. And Jose, he's in the USA.
Yes, I am.
Yeah, he's born in the
USA.
USA.
America.
so yeah, but yeah, we're talking Royal Rumble here. Before we go more on to Shane McMahon, first of all, um, we did a live stream of the Royal Rumble reaction stream. That is, a whole bunch of us were on there that particular night. Pretty much most of the old Revolution guys,
And we're
which
going to
was pretty
say
cool.
flat out, we did not like this Royal Rumble pay-per-view or premium live event, whatever the fuck you want to call it. Oh boy.
Yeah,
Okay, here we go.
there was a lot of problems with the
Yeah.
Rumble for I mean, look, I'm somebody who doesn't watch wrestling anymore, but I do try to make an effort now and again for the odd thing. As I said before many times, I'm more of a voyeur than
Mm-hmm.
anything else. So I made an effort for the Royal Rumble. It's one of the most popular of the shows in the wrestling calendar,
Yeah, it's my
and
favorite pay-per-view of the year, and
yep,
they fucked it up.
they fucked it up big time. It started well.
Mm-hmm.
It started very well. Even though we've seen Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins dance on many occasions, this once again was a good match. For a fact that if you're going to get Seth Rollins in the match, it's going to be a good match. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
he's a reliable now for sure, and he's just a phenomenal wrestler.
Mm-hmm.
I remember watching WrestleMania, or not WrestleMania, whatever was after WrestleMania, Backlash, Bad Blood, whatever the fuck it's called.
Yeah.
Um, and Drew McIntyre fought Seth Rollins in that match, and that match was phenomenal. No crowd, but it was absolutely phenomenal. And
Yeah, it's
yeah,
gonna go down as an underrated banger. Like if you haven't seen that match, you need to go see that match. It kicked ass. It
yeah,
really
it
did.
really did. And it's not just that, but I mean, this is why I was making the sort of like comparisons to Shawn Michaels. It's Seth Rollins is able to sell wrestling and sell emotion, sell a character, all of these things. He's just so good at his craft, and I can understand why he's so reliant upon like a Chris Jericho as well,
Mm.
somebody who you could just go to whether he wins or loses. You're going to get good wrestling from this guy. You're going to
You're
get
gonna
good
get it.
storytelling,
Yeah, you're
everything.
gonna get a great match. Yeah. Only thing that I think he needs to work on is as a babyface. I don't buy Seth Rollins as a babyface yet because I know they're turning him. It's kind of going that way, kind of like babyface by proxy.
He can be a baby face, but it doesn't have to be the smiling, hey
Good guy,
guys.
America. Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't have to be down that. He could be a badass baby face, like Stone Cold was.
Yeah.
Like the Rock was. Not fucking fruity pebbles like Cena.
Hmm.
Just be a badass. Like be the sort of the anti-authoritarian sort of baby face. That's the sort of baby faces people. Please explain Owens. Not now, mate. Honestly, maybe a bit later.
That'll
But
be something that we could get into maybe in May around that
yeah.
time. We'll visit it.
Well, look, I'm doing just so you know, we're doing a show later on this evening at 4 o'clock in the morning UK time, and you could ask that question then. But honestly, it's just not a good time to ask it now.
Yeah.
But yeah, that
But okay,
going
yeah,
back to that fact,
let's break down Roman Rollins. This was the match of the night. Easily the match of the night.
yeah,
Great shit.
yeah,
Rollins coming out in his Shield gear was easily the pop of the night. Rome, Reigns is the heel. Rollins is clearly the babyface. and they had a great back and forth match. And Roman wins Roman retains by disqualification with the 5 count, and that's a technique you don't see a lot in wrestling anymore. A lot of
Yeah,
them always break at the 4, and they never go to 5, and they went to 5, which is a rare tactic that you see nowadays that heels have.
Well, that means rematch, as far as I'm concerned. They can't.
Well,
Theoretically, it's a rematch because Seth Rollins beat Roman Reigns.
mm,
So Seth Rollins, but he's not the champion. So Seth Rollins needs to fight him again. I mean, it's not ideal because Vince McMahon has fired everybody, so it's very hard to
I agree.
spread the wealth around. But
I
that's how it
agree.
should be.
I agree, except for one problem. And we're going to break it down when we get into the Royal Rumble match. The thing that we prayed to God wouldn't happen, and thankfully it didn't happen. But now in Saudi, it's going to fucking happen.
Yeah. Okay. But overall, a good match. We'll see where this pans out in the future, especially for Seth Rollins. I'm more focused on him than Roman Reigns. And Roman Reigns is the champion. He's going to be fighting at WrestleMania regardless.
Oh yeah, he's going to WrestleMania. It's a given.
So what was the next match?
Let me find the card. I apologize for not doing that sooner.
Because I remember 3 other matches, but I'm sure there's another one that slipped my mind.
Give me 1 second to pull.
Because we had the women's title, we had the Universal Championship, and we had the mixed tag match, which felt like a WrestleMania undercard match.
Do we have to go in order? Because I really don't care if we do.
Well, yeah, just for the sake of yeah.
Okay, so Ronda. Okay, the women's Royal Rumble match, according to Wikipedia. That's
of course, it was the women's Royal Rumble. Yes.
Predictable as fuck. And
would you say it's better than the men's match?
That's a tough one because both matches, to me, I don't know if you felt this way, but both matches kind of felt flat to a large degree.
Yeah,
it's a tough call.
They called back on the legends on this one as well, like big time.
And I know you particularly were like, I don't like how they treated like a lot of these one-off guys, like and gals. Like they came in, they did their shit, and then a lot of them were like gone. Like Mighty Molly
didn't do their shit.
Yeah,
Molly Holly came back, had a huge pop, looks fantastic. You know what I mean? She didn't look like she aged at all.
The one that I'm going to give the MVP to, and I know people may be surprised, Ivory was the MVP of this women's Royal Rumble match.
Really?
From a appearance standpoint, she's 60 years old. Yeah, she's 60 now. And she has not aged a fucking day. And her coming out in the right to censor gimmick was fucking amazing. I really enjoyed it. It would be
nice if she took a proper bump, though, then we'll see how good she is. I mean, someone like her is a fitness fanatic, so I'm not surprised that she looks great for her age and so on. But
as the one-off MVP, I think Lita would have to be kind of that person because Lita came in and she showed up. She did her work.
Well, some of these legends can still do a job, like Alicia Fox, Michelle McCool.
She was the one that really lasted. Michelle lasted a really long time.
Yeah, she might have had the rub because she's Undertaker's wife, but it's not like she's useless in the ring. She's always been, a very good athlete, and so I wasn't surprised with her performance. She's brains and beauty as well, so she knows how to work a good match, and she lasted her distance and stuff like that. And unfortunately, whether it's a mixture of Vince McMahon just being egotistical and firing everyone left, right, center, or that some of the women's division are just not good enough. They had to rely on a few legends, but some of the other legends they really treated poorly.
Yeah, they really fucked it up.
Yeah, and some of the women wrestlers who are renowned and really good at their craft, they never utilize properly. Like someone like Natalya Neidhart shouldn't just be in there for the sake of being in there. She should be somebody who could possibly win it. We got to look upon her as that.
Yeah, she's a heart for fuck's sake.
Yeah, but she's just making up the fucking numbers. Oh, by the way, hello Daniel Vance. Nice to see you, mate.
What's up, Van?
I hope you saw the fucking Royal Rumble, mate. I really do.
Yeah.
But once, I mean, the funny thing is there were rumors regarding both these Royal Rumbles,
Mm-hmm.
and they turned out to be true.
And
And
and I got to specify, I hate that we were right. I don't want to be right during WrestleMania season. I don't want to know where we're going. And yet here we are. We know where we're going. So I got to give a shout out to Shredder. Shredder was right.
Ronda Rousey, for fuck's sake, like she was she was shat on by the fans. She shat on the fans. She leaves, comes back, is a fucking part timer, and wins the goddamn Royal Rumble.
By
No
last,
wonder.
and here's the thing too: Charlotte is the SmackDown Women's Champion. Okay, and Charlotte and Ronda were the final two. And this is where apparently they're going for WrestleMania. No, why? No, the money is in Charlotte or Becky versus Ronda because they've never went one on one. Turns out that they've never had a one on one match. That's where the money is. But apparently
Well,
Vince is dead set on doing Charlotte versus Rousey, and we've seen that shit before.
yeah, exactly. Like Charlotte versus Rousey is like the female fucking Brock versus fucking Roman.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and look, Charlotte's very lucky. Well, not lucky. I'll take that back. She is phenomenally a fantastic wrestler, absolutely amazing. But then you throw the name Flair in there as well, with the amazing skill set that she's got. Because Ric Flair says that her daughter is much better than him, and I would agree. And I would agree with that. I would agree. You know.
And I know this might be a take that a lot of old school fans aren't going to like, but it's got to be said. Once you've seen one Ric Flair match, you've seen them all.
Yeah, the poke and the fucking falling flat on your ass and
the suplex.
Like I mean, all that
going
sort of shit.
They're going to the top, taking the peel. Yeah, once you've seen it, you've seen it.
Exactly. So exactly. Charlotte Flair is a much better wrestler. She's taken her everything her dad has given her and taking it to the 21st century, man.
Mm-hmm.
And
but I am not excited to see Charlotte Rousey again if that's the route they're going.
She's gonna do the job for fucking Rousey.
Yeah,
there's no doubt in my mind.
The only upside to this is Ronda as a heel being like, "Fuck all of you, I'm here for the check." That's the Rousey I want to see.
Isn't Charlotte a heel?
That's the ironic thing. Both are heels, and as we get into our next matchup, that's going to be another dynamic of like, what the fuck are we doing? We don't know who the babyface is. We don't know who the heel is.
Charlotte is much better as a heel.
Oh yeah, never turn her babyface.
Yeah. She has babyface runs, but she's so much better as a heel.
Oh yeah,
and I know Ric Flair said that he hated being babyface. He liked being a heel more.
It never worked for Rick as a babyface, except for when he retired against Shawn Michaels.
Like once he started having like many years behind his belt, and he became like a long serving wrestler, then it was very hard to boo him because you just had that admiration for him. Yeah, I have no admiration for him now because of what happened on the plane ride from hell.
Yeah, fuck. And Tommy, I just
just to go on a little tangent here, he's kind of rode that wave now. Like he's had sexual allegations against him, and he's ridden that wave, and it seems everyone's forgotten about it. Time once again has made people forget.
Yeah, we haven't forgotten, and we never will.
Forgotten.
Nope.
Okay, so we're on to now the women's
championship. Yeah,
I actually like this match. Now I know you didn't.
I did, but okay, I'll say this: they worked hard, but I don't feel that it was like a big pay-per-view quality match. It was a good match. It wasn't great. You know what I'm saying?
I can't. I know where you're getting at to a degree, and because it's at the Royal Rumble, that there is an argument to that. But for me, once I found out, after the match, why some of the crowd wasn't into it, is because they were escaping with their fucking lives because we had a pyrotechnic problem with the
the sign caught fire,
which caught on fire. And so
maybe it's time to go back to the banners, but they're not going to do that. They should, but they won't.
Well, they like these fucking big ass signs. And look, I was at WrestleMania 24 and there was fucking pyrotechnic problems. People were having, like these fireworks which were along these cords.
Yeah, when Undertaker won and then he did his pyro, and then I remember seeing that.
But
shit.
The cord snapped and the fucking fireworks were like rockets hitting the bloody crowd.
Yep.
And they're being attacked by fucking getting shot at by fireworks and stuff like that. WWE never learns, man. They just want to be all this overly flamboyant and unnecessarily.
I am gonna say this though, like it just like the build up to it felt flat. The match was all right for what it was. I liked it, but it's not like I didn't love it, but I didn't hate it either. It's kind of like that middle of the road scenario for me.
The
The
women's
women's,
match.
yeah,
Maybe
for both
because
of them.
I've been out of the scene for a while. I appreciated it, but
Hmm.
I didn't think I mean, I didn't think it was that bad. It kind of
It
reminded
wasn't.
me.
Yeah, it wasn't the best, but it wasn't the worst.
Do you remember I'm not sure if you remember this, but there was a match at WrestleMania 7, I believe. It was Mr. Perfect versus Big Boss Man.
Yeah. Yep.
And it was a bit unusual at the time because Big Boss Man's this big bulging face, whilst
Hmm.
Mr. Perfect is the athletic. Usually usually in WWE, Boss Man would be the heel and Perfect should be the face regarding their physiques. But it
Hmm.
was the other way around, and almost to a degree, the big girl, what's a Dewdrop, whatever the fuck her name is, she came across like a face to a degree. Even though eventually it kind of defaulted to Becky Lynch because she was the more recognizable wrestler.
Yep.
But it was that sort of dynamic regarding big and small and stuff like that. But yeah, it was all right. It was okay. I
Yeah,
mean,
it was
it was
okay. I mean, it wasn't. It's not the best, but it's not the worst. Do I want to see a rematch? Not now. If you build Dewdrop up, maybe over time, if you build her up as a monster, then I'd say hell yeah. If you have her be like the Yokozuna of the women's division, just go through and squashing motherfuckers, then yeah, I'd be more than hyped to see that.
well,
But
they do need a big female wrestler who's not a fucking botch magnet like someone
Nia
like
Jax.
Tamina and
Hmm.
Nia. Like those all I hear about them is constantly fuck people over and injure them and stuff. And I remember that famous that scene between Charlotte Flair and was it Nia Jax?
Becky Lynch and Nia Jax were
No, no,
Nia.
no, no.
Oh
No,
yeah,
was it Becky? No, it was Charlotte
oh
Flair,
yeah,
man.
they threw potatoes. Yeah, they were starting to throw hands. Like they were
And
gonna
like
throw hands for real.
they broke out of their routine to have real beef with each other. They're
Hmm.
like pushing each other in the face and shit. Like you could see Charlotte Flair was seriously pissed off. Um, and what do you expect? You're like your lives are in the hands of other people who are pretending to hurt you.
Yep.
So, anyways, yeah, okay, match. Anyway, let's move on.
Yep.
So we're on to the mixed tag match.
WWE title.
WWE title. Very disappointing.
Start
Um,
started off hot. I will give it that. Started off good, but where the fuck were they going with this? Well, we know
they
where
do
it
this
was going.
sometimes. Sometimes they get this, unstoppable first versus immovable object sort of matches. The
Hmm.
WWE are really lost in how to do these matches because usually when you have a face versus heel match, the face gets all the offense in,
Yep.
and then the heel gets comes back, and then we have a finish at the end. Yeah,
Yep.
they weren't able to really do this, even though like to a degree, even though like Lashley is the heel. It was very difficult for to do this, but they had to play them both as strong. And
Hmm.
WWE gets lost in this. They really do. They get lost in these things, and they end up fucking flexing and fucking all this sort of shit. I see this sort of bollocks all the fucking time. In this case, they were just doing Germans on each other.
Yep.
I really hated this match. I hated this match because it kind of gives me vibes of Brock Lesnar versus Bill Goldberg Part One.
Hmm.
It was
The match that we
terrible. Like,
don't, yeah, the match that
yeah,
we don't talk about. The buildup was the best they ever did for both of them. Like
not
during,
really. No, no. I remember. Look, you say that, but I remember he started falling flat near the end
yeah,
because
near the,
eventually Steve Austin had to take over.
yep.
And do. I think he was talking on Goldberg's behalf, wasn't
No,
he?
it was like I think they knew it was gonna bomb. I think when
Yeah,
like
but
Stone
Goldberg
Cold,
wasn't on the show. Like there was a part period where Goldberg wasn't even there for
yeah,
like
and
a few
then
Monday Night Raws.
and Stone Cold had to come out and be like, "Yo, I want to referee this match," and yeah,
Yeah,
I see what you mean. Yep.
you
But yeah,
know, like
this match did what I knew it was gonna do because the minute that we get the ref bump, I'm like, I told the panel, I'm like, here comes Reigns, and everybody was like, no, 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 and I'm like, yep, here he comes, and then just like that, here came
it
Roman.
felt like if with these two, you got these two guys these two men who people have been wanting to see wrestle for years,
Mm-hmm.
and it felt like a Monday Night Raw match.
Mm-hmm.
It really did. It felt so generic. Didn't feel exciting enough. I
Mm-mm.
knew having it as a Royal Rumble match would do this match a disservice because this match would have been much better. You know, people would have been much more pumped for it if it was a
Mm-hmm.
WrestleMania match.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it should have been a WrestleMania match. They could have just reworked the card somehow and kept these two guys apart and made them. Honestly, that's the WrestleMania match people needed. Not
Mm-hmm.
fucking Roman versus Brock again. You know, your
Okay.
first time fighting each other, and then you make. Oh my god, man!
Yep. And what I would have
So
done, call me crazy, I would have made the swerve would have been Heyman staying with Brock. That would have been the swerve. It would have been like, oh, okay, shit, they're not going to pull the trigger yet. Makes you wonder when they will.
I don't even
But,
know anymore, man. Like honestly,
mm,
as much I wish Heyman's not even as much as I like Paul Heyman.
you just
He's
don't want to see him now. It's like,
yeah,
nah.
he's an unnecessary distraction.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and he's almost like a MacGuffin. You know, like get lost, hey. I like you, Heyman, but get lost, mate. Like your time as advocate and fucking all this shit manager, wherever the fuck you are, is over. You know, neither of these guys need you as a mouthpiece. They can talk for themselves. You know, Brock seems to be free of fucking Heyman until the next time. You
Yeah,
know
because
what I
they're going
mean?
to reunite them. It's inevitable.
You know,
You can't have one without the other.
I do like Paul Heyman, but he needs to be the mouthpiece for somebody who needs a mouthpiece.
Yeah.
Like Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns do not need Paul Heyman anymore. Paul Heyman needs to build somebody else up.
The thing they
And
totally fucked up on was when they made Cesaro Paul Heyman guy, and then that went nowhere. I'm like, they fucked up. They missed the boat big
well,
time.
it can happen. Like remember Heidenreich, for fuck's sake.
Oh
He was
God, yeah.
supposed to be the new Brock Lesnar,
Mm.
and
And he had some
that
of the
went.
he had some of the worst matches with the Undertaker.
He ended up being fucking the new fucking Legion of Doom.
Yep.
Teaming up with Animal for fuck's sake. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, look, Paul Heyman's magic doesn't work all the time. But in this particular case, you could if it's somebody who has definitely got what it takes, then make him a Paul Heyman guy for fuck's sake.
Yeah, but for now, I'm kind of ready to see Heyman go. It's getting to be time. It's like I love Paul Heyman, but I'm like, dude, the magic is worn off. It's not the same as when you first came back 10 years ago.
He looks like the fucking Penguin from
Yeah.
Batman.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Get a fucking desk job, mate. Do commentary, man.
I said, if anything, dude, like, okay, go produce like ECW shows and documentaries on like Peacock. That's where they need to put Heyman.
I'd actually team him up with some of the female wrestlers.
Yeah, that's something that hasn't done yet. Let's do that. Switch Heyman up and put him with like maybe, I don't know, Naomi, since she's with the bloodline. Keep them all connected somehow.
Yeah, that's actually a great shout, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
I'll go with that. I'll definitely go with that. But yeah, terrible with the interference. I hate shit like that.
Yep.
Especially when you got these two guys, you don't need that shit.
No,
you need
this should have been a straight up fist fight. We're gonna go to war, and it's it's a decisive victory. Not none of this interference bullshit.
Because honestly, like when I think of Suplex City, I don't just think of Germans.
Mm-hmm.
I think of every suplex imaginable. Belly to bellies, northern right suplexes,
standing stalling,
side
fisherman.
suplexes, verticals, fisherman suplexes. Give us the fucking give us the whole smorgasbord of fucking suplexes. You know what I mean? And show us some raw power between these two guys.
Mm-hmm. And we didn't get that
strengths and stuff.
And now if they're gonna do it again, it'll be like, oh, okay, meh. Yeah. But all right, and then going on to the mixed tag. I did not care for this really at all.
It was better than I expected, though.
It was better than I expected, but this should have been on Monday Night Raw.
No, this should have been a WrestleMania match because you see these sort of things at WrestleMania. These are good undercard filler matches just to keep the variety, of things going. The funny thing is, though, I think Miz has been in this situation on a couple of occasions with Maurice.
Yeah,
and they've always ended up losing. So I wasn't surprised that they fucking lost again. And
No,
I
me
feel
either.
I feel a bit sorry for him because I think he's better. I mean, like he comes across as this, Hollywood fucking wrestler in the WWE, and he's all in all the gossip columns and what the fuck is this shit? Like
Yeah, I don't know.
he's been misused a lot ever since The Rock kind of in a way
Buried
took the
him.
spot. No, buried him, took the spotlight off him
Yeah.
between his match and Cena. Because I think Cena and The Miz would have been a good match if The Rock didn't come along.
Mm-hmm.
But the moment The Rock came along, everyone wanted to see Rock versus Cena. They didn't give a fuck about The Miz anymore.
No, Miz was
And
just like, dude, okay. It was like when Austin, Tyson, and Michaels had that shit at like WrestleMania 14. It was almost like you forgot that Shawn Michaels wasn't even in the. You almost forgot that like Shawn was.
yeah.
Because it was like, oh, everybody wants to see Austin Tyson, but we all knew what it was. It was Austin getting his moment.
And well, it ended up relegating Miz, and he hasn't really recovered from that. Even though he retained,
Yep.
it wasn't soon after that was
He
the
lost
end
it
of
right
the.
back to Cena. Yeah, and he's never been
He's
the
become
same
a bit
after
of
that.
like an upper mid card wrestler now. That's pretty much where he's at. Tag, teaming up with old tag team partners, and fuck, it's a shame really where he's gone. He should have had a bit more of a stint in Hollywood. I've always said he's the perfect guy to play Johnny Cage in Mortal Kombat.
Yep.
I absolutely ideal, and I'm not even sure if we'll get that now because he's not a spring chicken. He's in his mid-40s.
Yeah, it's going to be time soon, and he's got kids. He's got a family now. Yeah, there's not enough time. But I thought this was all right for what it was. Should have been on Monday Night Raw, or should have been a WrestleMania match.
The Hurricane Rana by Maurice was pretty good.
Yeah.
But give these women outfits where they don't have to constantly pull the fucking thong out their ass and have to fucking make sure their tits are still kept in their costume, because honestly you're doing them a disservice if they have to constantly adjust their costumes all the time. And Maurice was doing that, and she didn't need to fucking do that. She'd already done Playboy. Everyone's seen the fucking goods.
Yep.
All right, so we are now on to
the main event,
Royal Rumble.
Oh my god. Okay, where does this rank as far as worst / boring Royal Rumbles that you've ever seen? Because for me, it's in the top 5, without a doubt.
I've seen lots of Royal Rumbles,
but yeah,
I've seen some lots of Royal Rumbles, and I'll go with this century because I remember there's been some terrible ones in the 90s. There have been. But this century, like, when you got, honestly, I wasn't the biggest fan of Stone Cold constantly winning all the fucking time. He won 3 of them. Hulk Hogan winning all the fucking time wasn't too great. I did like the one between Shawn Michaels and Davey Boy Smith, where they came in as 1 and 2, and they were the last 2 in the ring.
Yeah, only thing bad about that Royal Rumble was how depleted their roster was in '95. It started good and ended good.
It brought in the 1 foot rule as well. Like both feet have to touch the ground.
Yeah.
But 1 foot touched the ground, so the 1 foot rule came into play. I remember a Royal Rumble I saw. Sorry for going on a tangent here.
Oh, it's what we do. It's what we do.
Where Macho Man was feuding with somebody, and he threw him out the ring, and then Randy Savage like a fucking idiot.
He was feuding with Jake the Snake.
He was feuding with Snake. He fucking jumps over the top rope to go fight fucking Jake the Snake.
And Gorilla and Bobby have to play it out like, oh, he wasn't eliminated. You have to actually be thrown over the top rope.
Yeah, and exactly. And then Undertaker as well. He went under the rope to get involved in that fight between Snake and Macho Man and Randy Savage, just to bring Macho Man back in the ring, because Macho Man was supposed to be in the final 4 of that match. And oh god,
I know.
I mean, those are terrible Royal Rumbles. I mean, the Shawn Michaels Bull one was a good one, but that was a terrible one because of the botches in that. But this one was boring, man. It really was. Like, there was no special moments. There was no some holy shit moments. No special spots. No real Iron Man moments. I mean, AJ didn't last that
got
long.
Fucked. Yeah, AJ got fucked. Let me see who was all in this shit, because I know. Yeah, it started off good with like AJ and Nakamura, and then it went to shit immediately after that.
Well, Shinsuke, I'm surprised, by the way. I'm surprised Shinsuke is still working in the WWE. You think of all the people who's been fired. I'm shocked.
You think he'd be gone? Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I guess they must believe in the Japanese market to a degree, which is why they're keeping him.
Yeah.
but I expected a better moment between those two, because at one point them two having a match was looked upon as a big fucking deal, and that match turned out to be a big pile of shit.
And it went
You know what I
nowhere.
mean?
Yeah, it led to nothing. It led to AJ just kicking his ass constantly.
I think Shinsuke's best years are behind him.
Oh yeah,
You
New
know what I
Japan
mean?
was his best time, easily, without
Yeah,
a doubt. Yep.
he's over the hill right now, and AJ's getting there too.
Oh
But
yeah.
yeah, I mean, if those two can't start off with to make things credible, then you know the rest of the Rumble's going to be shit.
And I know for
No
Bobby Black,
spots.
he popped for Robert Roode. I knew it was over for Robert Roode like the minute he entered. I'm like, yeah, this dude's not going to last, because you would think like he would be one of Vince McMahon's guys. He's got the look. He's a decent talker. He can be a really good wrestler. He's had really kick-ass matches, and he didn't even last that long. He was
I
eliminated
actually
within a
missed
couple
Robert Roode's
minutes.
entrance. Are they still making him look like ravishing Rick Rude?
Kinda, sorta.
Because
Not
that
really.
really pisses me off. Yeah, that's the sort of thing Vince McMahon would do. You know, he's
Mm-hmm.
like a mini fucking ravishing.
Yep.
But yeah, I'm lost for words regarding this Rumble, because I don't even know where to begin regarding how shit it is. You got Kofi doing one of his famous
Oh,
spots
I feel
that
so bad.
botched.
I feel so bad for Kofi, because he and Big E were supposed to do something. That was the original plan. Was they were
Yeah,
leaning
well,
toward like Kofi and Big
I
E.
don't have anything against Kofi from doing one of those spots,
Nah, but you
because
still feel bad for him though.
he's pulled them off so well in the past.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just, as Bobby Black said, he went to the well one too many fucking times,
Mm-hmm.
and it cost him. You know, I mean, how many more craziness can you? I remember once he was doing handstands and shit, and
Mm-hmm.
because his feet didn't touch the ground, he got away with it. You know, it's
Mm-hmm.
fantastic. But you know what? You should just let him fucking win it. You know, that's what he needs to do now. He needs to win the fucking Royal Rumble.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's fucking ridiculous. And we never got any of that. And because of that, Biggie just got eliminated like a nobody. You got Bad Bunny,
That's a side
for
tangent we
fuck's
have to
sake.
go. That's a side tangent we have to go off of. The way these motherfuckers get eliminated is what really pisses me off in the Royal Rumble. It's like they toss them out like they're nothing. And I'm like, y'all got to stop doing that. These eliminations don't mean shit after a while. When they just pick them up and they dump them over the top, it's like, it's so anticlimactic.
Well, it's funny, like in some ways, when they just trying to stretch out the match, and you got these guys pretending to try and throw the other person over the ropes, you know, it's done. It looks like it's such a difficult thing to do, and next thing you know, you're just grabbing some fucker by the hair and throwing them over the top rope.
Yep.
You know, like you're throwing away your fucking trash.
Like,
You
I
know,
remember
and
when Stone Cold used to do it. Stone Cold would throw motherfuckers out with intensity. Like, he would take them with him and then throw their
yeah,
ass over the top. And it's like, yeah, this year they didn't even really do that. It was like, oh, okay, so and so just got eliminated.
yeah, exactly. So
But now
I
to
was
talk
up.
about the intertwining, okay, we're getting down to like 27 through 30. Bad Bunny comes in, and then fucking Bad Bunny was the MVP, I think, for a lot of people.
Really?
Well,
Not for me.
not for me.
I look at people like Bad Bunny and Shane McMahon, and I used to like Shane McMahon a lot, but I've had my mind changed on him. Not because of all of this, but previously I liked him because you'd always get, even though he was never a full timer, his matches were always entertaining, and he usually 9 times out of 10 he would usually do the job.
Like,
You know,
I'm in the minority, but I actually like the Kane versus Shane McMahon feud in 2003.
the
I
ambulance
actually
match.
liked it. Yep, I
I love
liked
that
it.
match. Like he climbed that fucking Titantron. And he fucking dropped like a bitch, and I love it. I don't mind all of that, but recently it's not been that way with Shane. And
Mm-mm.
as other people have said, you know, he comes in for a couple of matches, you know, then he disappears. He gets chance to heal. He's got millions and billions. He's totally fine, yeah. Whilst other people are on the road all the fucking time don't get the sort of scenarios he's getting, because
Yeah, there's no off season.
yeah, but Shane does pay-per-views as well. You
Mm-hmm.
know, like he's taking a spot of a pay-per-view from somebody who works their bollocks off, you know, who's on the road every fucking day. So I can see the problems with Shane McMahon now. I totally appreciate it.
And people need
And
to ask themselves too, like, okay, yeah, Shane got let go. My reaction is meh, to be honest. man, I don't really care that he got let go. I'm like,
He's 50 fucking two, man.
yeah,
What is with WWE and all these old guys? You know, they want to bring back fucking Jeff Hardy, who's in his mid 40s. You know, they just can't, they haven't got the capacity
it's a good
of
point
making.
because it goes to show how depleted the roster is. If you look at this roster for the match card, it's honestly up there as some of the weakest roster that I think they've had in a long fucking
Well,
time.
they can't build new stars.
No.
They genuinely can't. They haven't. Whoever the fans like, they don't like, and whoever they like, the fans don't like.
And then to
You
counter
know.
that, sometimes too, Vince will cater to the vocal minority of fans where it's like, oh, we want this guy, then we want this guy, then we want this guy, and that kind of shit can be hard to keep up with. I'm like, you definitely don't have to listen to those type of people because those are the type of people that have no clue what they want. They say they do, but they don't. But it's like it's tough to really keep track of like who you want to be your top guys.
Once Vince lost competition,
He got
he
lazy.
didn't. He got late, and he didn't give a fuck about what people wanted. I think the last couple of times where he kind of pushed people who were becoming popular was Cena and Batista.
Mm-hmm. The OVW guys were the last guys to really get that treatment.
You know, because you know they were talented. They were talented guys,
mm-hmm.
and you know Cena in particular is a very talented man. You know, and so yeah, he gets the push and stuff like that. But since then, you know, there's been wrestlers the fans love, the WWE doesn't love. You know,
Mm-hmm.
Damien Sandow and Zack Ryder being two prime examples. And because of these things, they just don't know what to do anymore.
Mm-mm.
You know, they felt like they can control the narrative. It's all good by pushing people the fans love and then controlling the narrative in the matches. But now they're controlling the narrative on who you're supposed to love.
Here's what we're going to do. Like. We're going to throw shit at the wall and we're going to see what sticks. And if it sticks, great. If it doesn't, okay, we'll move on. That's WWE's way of thinking.
And I feel sorry for like these wrestlers like who have got so much about them yet somehow they're going nowhere, like Sheamus.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I feel so bad for that dude. I really do.
I don't even know. I can't even put a finger on it. Like he is everything that you want in wrestling.
Mm-hmm. You know, he's the guy. He's the dude that casual fans can like, the smart marks can like, and everybody can like. Like Sheamus is that dude. He's that dude that goes out there. He has great matches. He can cut a really good promo when he needs to. But yeah, Sheamus is just one of those dudes that just really gets overlooked.
Because he was a Triple H guy.
Probably.
You know, you're gonna got shot to the moon too soon.
And that may have been. I think that's what killed him because I can remember back in the day when he won the title. I'm like, okay, so you have this dude show up on Raw for like 6 months, and he beats guys like Goldust, and he retires Jamie Noble
and Cena,
and he beats Cena. And I was like, okay, he beats Cena, but the follow up was trash. And ever since that follow-up after he beat Cena, he's never been the same after that.
But it's just a shame because you know he's good, but then you got somebody like Drew McIntyre who's had to work his ass off.
And getting released was the best thing. Getting released was but getting released was the best thing to ever happen to Drew McIntyre. It really was. Him getting fired was the best thing for his entire career because it gave him a chance to go away, develop his character, then come back. And now they're trying to make him that guy, but I'm surprised that he came back as quick as he did too with his neck injuries.
The thing with Drew McIntyre, he's not like a John Cena or The Rock or even Stone. Excuse me, bless you. He's not like John Cena, The Rock, or Stone Cold, where he'll get on a fucking microphone and start. You know, he lets his fist do the talking, and
he can fight.
He's more the Stevie Richards, if you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
You know that Stevie Richards, if you know what I mean. Yeah.
If you guys get it, you get it.
Yeah, he's more in that sense. Like he lets his fist do the talking.
Yeah, he's a fighter.
And you know he like people have mic skills, but it's how they portray them.
Mm-hmm.
You know, some people can do all the rock and know your road and fucking hell yeah and fucking the champ is here type of shit. They can do. Some people are good at that, and some people are just cutting promos and just saying, "I'm going to kick your fucking ass." Enough talking, let's fight.
Yeah, like McIntyre, Brock Lesnar are the two dudes that could be like, they don't even need to say shit other than like, I'm gonna beat your ass. I'm gonna get paid. Let's go.
I would say Brock Lesnar's got more charisma than Drew McIntyre, in my
I
opinion.
agree. I agree.
And I think that's come with being in the MMA,
But
and just being a real fighter and all of
good
that.
okay, good segue. And this is where I fucking hate that I was right. Oh my God, why did I have to be right? Brock Lesnar comes out. The minute you hear his theme go off,
Yeah, I knew
you
he
knew
won.
it was over. You knew it was over.
Well, yeah, I mean, I was pissed off initially that fucking Shane McMahon comes out.
Yep.
I mean, he looks really good for his age, but he doesn't need to be there. Him and Bad Bunny, those spots should go to full time. Excuse me.
Yep.
But then Brock Lesnar comes out and I think, yeah, okay,
It's over.
The champ is here. Yeah, he might have lost his belt, but he's gonna immediately sort that issue out by winning the Rumble.
Yep.
And it's gonna squash his loss very, very quickly.
Yeah, and he got his revenge on Drew McIntyre. F5'd him over the top.
That's them two should have had a match in the ring.
Yeah, it should have been like Shawn Michaels and Undertaker in 2007, where it was a match. Yeah, like it was like, holy shit. They went out there for like 15 minutes and just went to war just to see who would win the Royal Rumble.
Yeah, and we never got any of that. It was like, all right, clock's ticking. You know what I mean? He just grabs fucking McIntyre by the hair. This big 6'6" fucking
picks
behemoth.
him over his shoulders, F5's his ass, and that's it.
Oh yeah. So he F5's his ass out the ring. Yeah, exactly. Like,
and then the commentators basically give it away, but then getting into what else we have to talk about, they give it away that fucking like, oh, Lesnar reigns, here it comes, and well, now to get into the bad of what we think, what is most likely going to happen, because according to the internet, Goldberg has one match left on his deal.
I did say, and what wouldn't it be? The battle of the fucking big boys, triple threat: Goldberg versus Lashley versus fucking Goldberg. Brock Lesnar. Yeah, that needs to happen. I mean, it doesn't need to happen, but I can see Vince.
It doesn't, but it needs to. Yeah, it's one of those type of things.
I can see Vince thinking to himself, "Fuck, we better do this now before fucking Goldberg's too. He's already over the hill."
But actually, you know what they're going to do? They're not going to do what you suggest. They're going to do Goldberg versus Roman in Saudi Arabia. That's where they're going.
Yeah, that's why I've said, because he's got like before he fights Lesnar, he's got some time to fill, and exactly. So he'll do the job. He'll do the job in that particular match. I can see Roman Reigns controlling that match.
Yeah,
because the last thing we need, I mean, I guarantee you, there'll be no they're going to play on the spot of him missing a spear, but he won't run in to the post this time.
Yeah,
like he said, yeah, not this time, motherfucker.
He'll stop himself, and then he'll get caught with a spear, and then that's how this thing is going to end. Like, he'll be like, "Oh shit!" and then here comes Roman, bam, and that's how this one goes.
Oh yeah, it'll be the battle of the spears, won't it? Yeah.
Yep.
Exactly.
And then I guess on the Raw side of things, Brock is like, "Okay, here's the deal. I'm going to fight Roman, but I'm also entering the Chamber." And the rumor is title for title. That's the big thing they might go with. And I'm like,
at WrestleMania.
Yep. I'm like,
it's just a concept. End of the day, people give a fuck about the match.
Yeah.
Is the match going to be any good? And by the time that match happens, after 5 hours of wrestling, people will be too exhausted to give a fuck. Like, they never learn from that. WrestleMania should be 4 hours tops. And even that's pushing it. And I'm talking pre-show and everything.
Yep. And here's my take on it with the title shit. They're not going to end this goddamn brand split like definitively. It'll never fully fucking come to an end. Like, even if they unify the titles and all that shit, every time the ratings and interest goes down, what does Vince do? He hits the fucking panic button. And you're going to see the brand split inevitably stick around somehow. It'll never fully go away.
I'm fine with the brand split. I just don't think they've ever done it correctly.
No,
they do too much mixing up of the fucking shows when when there should be no mixing up whatsoever. It makes a mockery of the brand split.
The first time they did it, it worked. Like the first time in 2002, it was a cool idea. It worked. Both shows felt separate. Both shows had an identity. Nowadays, I couldn't tell you other than Raw's red, SmackDown's blue. I couldn't fucking tell you the difference between both
Yeah,
shows.
I totally agree, and they did it because initially they wanted to give more wrestlers spotlights. You
Mm-hmm.
know, they bought the WCW. They've taken the entire roster. They needed to spread the wealth a little bit, and it was a good idea. But all they ended up doing now is fucking promoting the same fuckers on both shows,
Mm-hmm.
and it's just no longer what it once was, and it's a shame really. I do like the concept of the brand split, but they've ruined it. They tarnished it. The only time I didn't mind when wrestlers from one show was on another was that time where a lot of wrestlers were stuck in Iceland, I believe, because of the volcano.
Yeah, that
Or
was like
the
10 years ago, and then they had the SmackDown crew come to work Raw. It felt
I
different.
it felt good. It felt different. It felt acceptable. You
Mm-hmm.
understood what was going on. I didn't mind that. I didn't mind that at all. But and then it was more of a split. Then nowadays, it's just not a split at all. It's just
No. And
it's
here's the
just
thing, too. If they unify the titles, lesser guys won't get as many chances as they do now with two different titles. That would be the thing that would suck. You think the roster now is kind of here. It'll go from like having 6 guys to like maybe having 4 guys challenging for that belt constantly. So that's where it would suck.
what they need to do is not unify the title. Just have one person as dual champion.
Yeah.
Like if someone like for instance, this is if argument say Brock Lesnar wins, yeah.
Yeah.
Brock Lesnar wins, then he's able to put one of those belts. If he gets challenged, one of those belts becomes up for grabs, whatever it is. If he's fighting against a Raw guy, then it's the WWE title. If it's a SmackDown guy, it's a Universal title.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's how they should do it, And
and Brock has to put in work. Like that's how it's got to be. If you're the champion, you're showing up every fucking where. You're gonna work.
Yeah, and exactly. That's the same with Brocky. I mean, is he how much of a part timer is? Does he fight on Raw? Does he fight on SmackDown, or is it just the pay per views?
Just the pay per views. But it's time they change things up. Yeah. Because if you're going to unify the titles or do whatever, I would still have Raw be the Raw title, SmackDown be the SmackDown title. Fuck this undisputed shit.
Yeah, exactly. Like I said, let him hold both, whoever wins it, but then they have to defend. And you could make a good way of one of them losing. Like, for instance, like they hold both titles. So on Raw, they have to defend one match, or like in the next pay per view, they had to have 2 matches, one for the Raw title, one for the SmackDown title, and because they've had 2 matches, they're not able to defend the SmackDown title match, and that would be a good way of doing things. But yeah, don't bring the titles together and shit like that. Yeah, that's just bollocks, huh?
Yeah,
I'm not happy with that.
And then our last topic, because I think we're getting to the end. WWE in 2021 made over $1 billion.
Yeah, what I heard is that they made over $1 billion. Yet the morale within the company
is low as fuck. Yeah, like.
And do you think Vince McMahon gives a flying shit about that?
And here's the thing too that people need to add. Like, here's a question, because I'm not clowning. I'm asking this as a serious question. Okay, if you have all this money, what's your incentive to improve your product? Just saying.
Well, that's the thing with these people.
Mm-hmm.
There's no incentive, dude. It's just hoarding.
I know.
These
that's what I'm saying.
Hoard.
Yep.
Like our economy is better. And sorry for going. This is a tangent.
Yeah.
Our economy is better when these billionaires, stimulate the economy by putting all these fucking billions they have into the economy, but they don't. They just hoard it. It's people like me and you that stimulate the economy. People who have to spend all the fucking time. People like these motherfuckers who've got more money than sense don't, and they just hoard it all.
Mm-hmm.
You think any of these billions are gonna go towards these fucking athletes? Not a fucking dime, man.
Hell no. If anything, I guarantee you after WrestleMania, we're going to get another, like, probably 20, 30 guys cut, because they will do that. And their excuse is going to be budget cuts because we can't afford it. You know damn well you could afford it. Y'all just choose not to.
It's the greed, man. And it just makes me wonder, like, how is all this possible? Like, the company's losing viewers left, right, and center.
Yeah, they're making more money than they could ever fucking make.
Yeah, how is this possible? I don't understand.
Yeah,
less people are watching wrestling, yet they're making more money than ever.
Mm-hmm.
I
don't understand it.
I don't understand it either. So
because Yeah, because cable TV here in the States is a fucking dying thing. Nobody wants to pay $265 a month for the premium package. People aren't doing that. They're moving more toward the internet now. I've done that. I cut the cord years ago. Don't regret it. I would seriously advise people don't have cable. There's literally no fucking reason in having cable now.
Let me tell you something, dude. I got right in front of me is my monitor and my laptop. Yeah,
Yep.
I have a projector behind me as well. I don't have a television aerial connected to any of these things, and I don't miss not having any sort of television connection whatsoever. I rarely watch live TV anymore, only when it comes to sports.
Yep.
And even that way, there's ways of watching those sports live without needing a television subscription of any capacity.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, this is
It's
how
weird.
I operate now, and
Yeah.
I'm totally fine with that.
It's just
So
fucking weird too, because it's like, okay, yeah, because people are like, oh man, this is a big thing for Vince. It's like, y'all motherfuckers do realize that Vince still doesn't give a shit. He could literally come out on Raw Monday night and take a crap on every single title, and people will still find a way to talk about it and still pay money to see that shit. He doesn't care.
yeah, yeah,
It's a
yeah.
given.
Fucking bad. You want my teeth? Look, she want. This is what she wants.
Yeah, she wants to. Yeah.
You love nibbling on my teeth, man, don't you? But yeah, so but I kind of fucking lost my train of thought. Get lost, get lost. But
But yeah, Vince doesn't care. That's what.
yeah, he doesn't care. He doesn't care.
Nope.
And look at her, like, come on, sweetie. I'm trying to work here, but yeah, eventually, I think eventually some things have to come to a halt. Like you can't keep making money if nobody's watching the product.
There is a dude that I'm going to give a shout out to that I follow on Twitter. His name is JJF, and he said, like, I think it's inflation, and eventually what's going to happen is it'll be like the .com bubble. Eventually it's going to burst, and I think it's going to happen when Vince passes. That's what I really think. I think that's when you're going to see it further go down. Like
WWE floated on the stock
revenue.
market, yeah.
Yeah.
Then the shares are going to drop like a motherfucker when he dies.
He dies. Yeah.
They're going to fall so much. Yeah, I can't even comprehend.
It's going to be scary. It's going to be fucking scary.
They're going to have to start getting all their cash and start digging holes in the ground, but they don't want to lose a fucking dime.
Yep.
You know what I mean? But yeah.
Because people are like, it's going to get to the point where Vince has to care. And it's like, no, when he's dead, that's when they'll have to care. That's going to be the time that it'll be like,
I think,
oh,
I don't know, like, he's getting older, and I think he's going to get more senile because of this.
Yeah.
And he's going to be lost in his own self-importance, and this guy doesn't know. I think he's forgotten how the world works. As far as he's concerned, the world works for him. He doesn't work for the world.
Mm-hmm.
He's got money. He's got power. He controls people. He doesn't have to do things for other people.
He fucking fired his own kid. That tells you all you need to know about Vince. Like Shane McMahon, and people are like, "Oh man, Shane McMahon is gone."
Give me one second.
Yeah. Okay. So anyway, Shane McMahon is out of here, and it's like he's gone. Vince fired his own fucking kid, and it goes to show that Vince is a ruthless motherfucker. He will do anything to save a dollar. And if anything, I wouldn't be surprised to see it be Nick Khan taking over WWE instead of Stephanie and Triple H. But time will tell.
Sorry, I do apologize.
It's all good.
Okay. So, all right. So, I think we pretty much covered all our bases. Elimination Chamber is next. That's in a couple of weeks' time now, I believe.
That we have to talk about, before we wrap this up. Brock is entering the chamber, and if he wins, then it'll be title for title, like we said. I don't really care either way.
But hold on, how many Elimination Chambers are there?
I think there's a
Raw and SmackDown one and the women's one.
I think that's how they're doing it. Or it could be, I think that's what they're going to do.
Because
we're getting Roman Goldberg for the SmackDown fucking belt.
So if there isn't, if they do a SmackDown one, what are they fighting for?
Yeah, I don't think they'll be doing a SmackDown one unless it's just for the women, but who knows?
And okay, for the Raw one, they'll be going for Bobby Lashley's belt. Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
Okay, so yeah, we'll see. But they might. I don't know. Maybe, wouldn't it be easier for Goldberg to be in an elimination chamber? That way, he doesn't have to work as hard.
Yeah, I don't know, but they see money, and Vince is dead set on fucking Roman and Goldberg. He's been wanting that for like the last couple of years, but I don't know.
Eventually, they're gonna have there'll be no old wrestlers anymore because
They're
they're
gonna
too
be
old.
fucked. They're gonna get fucked like once John Cena retires, because once he and Randy Orton
As
go,
far as I'm concerned, he's already halfway there.
yeah, it's gonna be like
So
once John Cena and Randy Orton are like done. That's when they're really gonna be fucked as far as star power, because it's like, who else do you have?
Randy Orton has the lure of Hollywood, mate.
Yep.
So not Randy Orton, John Cena does.
Yeah,
You know,
John Cena's practically fucking retired, pretty much for the
I
most
mean,
part.
like Peacemaker has become a massive success. People are waxing lyrical about Peacemaker. Yes, there are a couple of haters I know of and stuff like that. The majority of people I know who have come across
They
Peacemaker
fucking
like it.
love Peacemaker. Yeah.
Yeah, they fucking love it. So I think John Cena is on his way to Hollywood superstardom.
Yep.
He'll definitely do a second season of this,
Yep.
in my opinion, because it's a
As far
rousing success.
as far as Roman goes, you're going to see Roman probably maybe play Lobo. We don't know. It could happen because Roman has
That
talked
so
about like Roman has
has
talked
Roman
about
talked
like
about playing Lobo? Has he
no,
actually talked about that?
he's talked about like in a few years like he wants to move on and do Hollywood type shit, and I'm like, Lobo would be a good role for him. I think.
Yeah, I mean, it's easier said than done. Yeah, I'm gonna do
Yeah.
Hollywood and all of that sort of stuff. Like, mate, you gotta be talented, man. I
Oh
mean,
yeah.
you gotta show more charisma than you're showing in the fucking wrestling ring for a start. There's levels, and that's why Cena was able to, and that's why Cena and The Rock and Batista were able. Was Batista did more serious roles.
Yep. But he's still fucking taking off.
He's taken off, but John Cena and The Rock, they've got it. I mean, they've got it, and it wasn't surprising at all. I was just surprised that it took so long to a degree because honestly, Cena should have been in Hollywood maybe in his late 30s, not in his mid 40s.
Yep.
You
And
know, yeah.
WWE is so fucking scared of their guys going Hollywood. It's like Miz is going to be one of those motherfucker. That's just the
God
way it
damn it.
is. You got guys like
Cena,
Miz that'll fucking bird. You got guys like Miz that'll be going Hollywood once he retires because he does that type of shit. He'll do like
Miz,
the
yeah,
reality
but Miz
shows
should
and
have been
shit.
Hollywood ages ago. Like
Mm-hmm.
doing the fucking Marine too. Sorry.
Yeah.
Just, God damn it, shitting all over my goddamn chair.
Chair.
He should have been Hollywood ages ago.
Oh yeah.
Like, he's not a spring chicken himself.
But they're so
what's it?
goddamn scared of like what's gonna happen. When guys get too old, guys retire. I mean, they're already fucked without the Undertaker, Steve Austin, The Rock, Hogan, all the guys
Well,
that we grew up
they
with are
managed to
gone.
survive 20 years without these guys, but
Yeah.
they haven't made that new group of stars. Like they put everything in the Roman Reigns basket,
Yep.
and and you got people like Seth Rollins, who's obviously very talented, is only used there as a worker, in my opinion. And where are these new stars? There's nowhere. Matt Riddle, I heard, was supposed to win the Rumble. That never materialized. So what they're doing? Nothing.
No, there's no long-term plan anymore. Like I've said for years, they don't give a fuck about a long-term plan. You remember like 20 years ago, Rock Hogan actually meant something. You remember like when Brock was coming up 20 years ago, it meant something. Nowadays, you could fucking have like Biggie win the Royal Rumble. It wouldn't mean shit the very next week. It'd be like, oh, okay, won the Rumble, cool.
You know what? Even Cena Rock should have meant something,
And
but
it
I think
didn't.
with 1 year of build up,
Yep.
it almost fell flat on its face when it was supposed to happen. Like it needed to, you know what? It needed to happen the moment. Instead of fucking Miz, it should have been the fucking Rock. And I know that goes against what I said earlier regarding the Miz. But that's when it should have happened, when people gave a fuck, and I think people would have been cheering their fucking ass off.
I knew
yeah,
it was over when
yeah.
they decided to do the rematch. I was like, no, that's not what I want. Just so Cena could get his win back. I'm like, leave it as a one and done. Let it truly be once in a lifetime. Then we never see it again.
Oh, and then you got part timer Rock telling CM Punk in May, yeah, I'll fight you at the Royal Rumble.
Yeah, they gave it away. Like they were like, dude, you and I are going to fight at the Rumble. I'm like, thanks. I could go ahead and skip WWE for the rest of the year because I know where they're going.
Yeah, like, you're gonna fight. Yeah, so he'll hold the belt and he's just keeping the belt warm for Rock until January while Rock
Yep.
makes another fucking movie.
And then
You know what I mean?
Rumble, and we were all like, God damn it. Yeah.
Oh god, yeah. These are the sort of things that really annoy you. The predictability, which is always one of the things, and fans like us now, we all feel like we need to be bookers and stuff like that, but it shouldn't have to go to that extent.
Yeah.
I mean, we shouldn't be feeling like we have to be booking matches and stuff like that, and all of that. Who needs a push and who doesn't? I mean, we should just be able to watch it for the unpredictability that it should be.
Yeah.
The WWE makes it so fucking predictable.
Yeah, when you can call it like 80% of the time, there's really no point in watching this shit. And for WrestleMania, like Shredder said, the interest for WrestleMania is pretty much low for the majority of us here at NerdTube. We truly don't give a fuck about it.
I called Bobby Lashley beating Lesnar because Brock Lesnar was being very cocky and being very arrogant, and I've seen the playbook by WWE before. You know that when you go down that, it's the same when John Cena said he was going to beat Roman Reigns.
You
it's
knew
the same when
it.
John Cena said that he was going to beat The Rock.
Yep.
You know, you just knew. You know, the first time they fought, you just knew with. You know, when John Cena goes in as an underdog, even though he fucking beats everyone, you know he's going to end up winning.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, when John Cena goes in as like, yeah, I'm fucking unstoppable, you know he's going to end up fucking losing. You know what I mean?
Yep.
You know, so yeah. You know, one more thing I just want to ask, as I mentioned John Cena. You remember that time when he picked Daniel Bryan to fight?
Yep.
Do you think he did that because he wanted to, or sorry, because he was going to, he was ordered to, or he did that because he just saw the fact, you know, he has clout, and the fans were constantly mentioning Daniel Bryan's name.
I think Cena saw something in him. Because I don't think
not about what Cena saw in him, but like Cena, was he told by Vince McMahon to say Daniel Bryan's name, or you know, not like Batista's name or whatever?
Was it an impromptu call? I think Cena made that by himself. I don't think Vince would be like, oh, Cena Bryan, that would be money. Because if it was Vince's way that year, Vince probably would have done something like.
So he listened to the fans.
Yeah, for the first time in a long time.
He went over Vince's head. You think?
Yep.
Yeah.
But they're not gonna do that until the panic button arises, and then that'll be the next time Vince will be like,
it's not just
"We're gonna give you what you want."
Cena can get away with that, you know. The same way Shawn Michaels able to get away with overselling Hogan's offense, you know, in that SummerSlam match.
And one of the greatest matches of all time, and
I love that
funniest.
Yeah, I love that match. But anyway, enough tangents here. We'll be back. I think you know what we'll do. We'll take a break until Elimination Chamber, brother.
Yeah. Yep.
I think we'll be back for that, you know, unless something special pops up.
If mass releases occur, we'll be back to talk about that. You know, if like Vince suddenly, you know, decides, fuck it, I'm going to Timbuktu. I'm not going to book this shit anymore.
Shane joins AEW.
Shane joins AEW. Yeah, we'll probably talk about that. Yeah.
Yeah, but until then, I mean, by the way, we talk about AEW. I heard the match between MJF and CM Punk was really good.
I haven't seen it, but I've heard that it's one of those that people need to watch.
Okay, well, I'll keep an eye out for that. All right then, Jose. We'll see you next time for wrestling, and maybe you'll join us for the next Peacemaker.
Oh yeah, I'm down for the next Peacemaker. Yeah, I'm down for the next 2 episodes.
And we've got a summit thing. I mean, if you're able to join us for that, please do.
Yep.
But if you can't, no problem. It's totally understandable. But we have got a summit thing going on where we're going to talk about everything and anything. It's all on the table: wrestling, TV shows, movies,
video games, all that type of shit tonight.
You name it.
Yep.
All right. I'm going to go get some sleep now. I'll catch you guys later. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe to NerdTube, best YouTube channel you never heard of. Bye-bye.